Hey guys, I'm back. So I miss you guys so much, and thank you for all of my subscribers. I really appreciate it, and all the people that are viewing my video as well. I really appreciate the love that you guys have been showing me. Today I just want to talk about my story. Obviously I'm in a different background today because I'm going to just be giving my story and just really wanting to enjoy the environment that I'm in today. So here we go. I was born June 14th in Inglewood, California, and my birth was kind of challenging. I think my mother said 4.5 months early, and I was 1 pound 15 ounces, and so you know, very, very tiny. You could put me in your hands from head to toe, and everybody was afraid for my life. I had to have a breathing tube, one in my neck, one in my chest, and one in my stomach. And it was just really challenging. I spent the first 3.5, almost 4 months of my life in the hospital. And my grandmother, my great-grandmother, and my great-great-grandmother, they were all praying for me and just wanting the best for me because I was so tiny and I wasn't breathing on my own, and all of these obstacles against me. And the night before, they were going to transfer me to another hospital to get a tracheotomy in my neck. And so my mom tells me the story all the time. I was in the hospital and she got a call around midnight where the nurse had saw that I had pulled out the breathing tube and started breathing on my own. And for me, I believe I can look back at that point in time in my life and say that God was watching over me always. So that's a really special story to me that really did happen, and that is a really big part of my life. So I've been a fighter my entire life from day one. And so with that, during my adolescence, I'm talking about kindergarten through 8th grade, I was bullied a lot. I was picked on a lot. I was picked on about my nose, my forehead, the fact that I was more athletic than other boys in my age group. I was also picked on a lot because I had 2 parents who loved me. And even though my biological father was absent from my life, I had a stepfather who really implemented good morals in me and just really loved me and my sisters like his own. And so I was picked on about those things, and school became very difficult. It wasn't fun for me anymore. It started affecting my learning, and I just really didn't like school. And when I was about 7 years old, my stepfather introduced me to the world of track and field. And that became my love, that became my world, that became my passion. Because it was the way that I could express myself freely, and I was good at it, and nobody was going to pick on me about it. And I actually got respect because of it, because I was really good at track. And I just loved being out there. I loved running, I loved jumping, I loved playing. I just loved every moment. And as I grew older, I started making national teams. I started making the Junior Olympic teams, and I was nationally ranked, and everything was just going really well. And I remember when I was about 8 or 9 years old, my father lined me and all of my siblings up, and he explained to us that, you know, we weren't rich, and that we don't have any money for college, and that we needed to get good grades and continue to excel in our sports in order to go to college. And I remember crying like the world had ended, because I didn't understand what a scholarship was at about 7 or 8 years old. I didn't understand what a scholarship was, and I thought we were poor. So I literally came to him crying like, oh my gosh, we're poor and we don't have any money, and what is a scholarship? And I remember him laughing at me in a loving way and saying, all you need to worry about is getting good grades in school, because that comes first, and you need to run as fast as you can. And that stuck with me my entire high school career. In high school, I ended up being nationally ranked as well. I ended up winning state meets in California, and really ended up performing and coming into my own during that period of time in my life. And it was great. It was a beautiful time in my life. But at the same time, little did I know it, track had already become, even before then, an idol for me. because it was the one sanctuary that I had, where I knew I was safe and I knew that I was loved and protected. Everywhere outside of there, I really didn't feel like I could be myself and come into my own. So I ended up getting a full ride scholarship to the University of Louisville. And during that time, I, just like any other 18-year-old, I thought I knew God, you know, I thought I knew everything about everything, and I really didn't know anything. And I'm away from my parents from the first time, and so what did I do? I partied, I clubbed, I had sex, I drank, I just lived any kind of way that I wanted to live. I was rude to people, I was nasty to people, I wasn't very loving and caring towards others. And where that found me was in a place where I was really truly alone, even more alone than I felt ever before. And because of that, I wasn't going to class, I wasn't performing well on the track. I ended up losing my full ride scholarship to the University of Louisville. And you know, God really used that in my life, and I'm going to explain to you how he used it in my life. So basically, like, I ended up losing my scholarship, and I had to call my parents and tell them I have to come home because I lost my scholarship. I can't continue to go to school and run. And I just remember during that period in time in my life, I fell into a deep depression. And I remember there was this gentleman named Chris and my now husband, Jared, who were really sharing with me the story of who Jesus was and why he loved me and why I was sinful and why I needed a savior, and that savior being Jesus. And it was very interesting to me because they would say things to me like, you know, you're never alone, God is with you, or you can be joyfully suffering. And I would always question, like, how can you be joyfully suffering? What do you mean my life is not about me? And when they started explaining to me how Jesus died on the cross for me and paid the debt of death that I truly deserved for my sins, that was shocking to me. I would never take a family member and have them die for me. Like, that didn't make any sense to me. And so as I started learning more and more, I kept falling into this deeper and deeper depression. And one of my punishments from my dad was I had to run to track practice to practice. And there was this dirt path out in Southern California in the desert, and it's hot. And I remember listening to this Jay-Z Blueprint album. And Jay-Z's on the album rapping and talking about, you know, basically money, sex, drugs, and rock and roll, basically. And I just remember being like, Jay-Z's not helping my life. Jay-Z's not helping me get a scholarship. Jay-Z doesn't care about if I go to college. Jay-Z does not care. Why am I listening to this? And I just remember the enemy really trying to trick me and deceive me by telling me, you know, look at all of these things that you love so much. You don't have any of them anymore, so what's the point of living? And I just remember contemplating that on that run and just saying to myself, like, I don't want to die. I want to live. I want to continue to live my life. And then, you know, I just remember stopping and taking off that music and just really looking at my surroundings and looking at the situation that I was truly in. And everything that I had idolized was stripped from me. And I just remember falling to my knees and just crying out to God, telling him everything that I thought was important, I have messed up tremendously. My family relationship wasn't that good because I was so rude and disrespectful to them. I had lost my scholarship. I wasn't running track anymore. All of my hopes and dreams that I had had since I was a little girl were stripped from me. And I just remember telling God, you know, I've tried things my way and I've messed them up. Now I want to try them your way. And I just remember getting up from that dirt path and running. And I just remember feeling like, man, like, I'm a new person. Like, I really believe right then and there God saved me. And life was different from that point on. And so when I got another full ride scholarship to San Diego State, I mean, God really pulled out the red carpet for me. I got another full ride scholarship. I ended up with an awesome academic team that really manage me and really make sure that I was on top of my classes. And me and my best friend, my now husband, we ended up still communicating and dating, my college sweetheart, I always say. And God just really used that in my life to redeem me and to make me a new person. And I love looking back on that time in my life, because my life was no longer about me, it was about God. It wasn't just about how I horizontally thought, how other people thought about me and how I thought about myself, but it became vertical as well. It became about not only how I treated others and how I was viewed, but it was all supposed to be done to the glory of God. And so that's where the vertical part comes in. It mattered what God thought about me and what God thought and saw me as. And when I surrendered my life over to Him, everything became about glorifying God and not glorifying myself. And that took all the pressure off. It just did, because it wasn't about me anymore. It was about God. And it just took all the pressure off. Like, I remember being in track meets feeling like, you know what, I don't have to win this race. I would like to win this race, but if I don't win it, it's not going to be the end of my world. It's not going to affect my studies. It's not going to affect the way I treat people. And that was a great feeling. That was an awesome feeling. And so I just wanted to share that with you all. And just really just want to encourage people out there. Like, you know, I know everybody that's watching this doesn't believe in God. But if you have questions like I did, you know, ask your grandmother or your family members that you trust, that you know that know God, or ask your local church. Like, go to a local church and talk to the members at the church. Talk to just some of the people at the church or the pastor, like, and just get information. And I promise you, God will transform your heart. And really just get in the Bible. Even if you don't want to do those things, another way is just getting in the Holy Bible. Like, just pick it up. And what I mean by the Holy Bible is Genesis through Revelations. Like, just pick it up and just read it. Like, God will reveal to you the desires and the plan and purpose He has for your life, which is to glorify Him with everything that you do. So I love you guys. Thank you for watching. And please share this video with anyone and everyone. Thank you so much. God bless. Peace.